Okay, let me say something first and just be very clear about this. No matter what we show in the next 12 days, I am discouraging people from gathering for Christmas. It doesn't mean we cancel Christmas. It means we celebrate in a responsible way, and we make our plan now to do that. If our numbers come down a good amount, it still doesn't mean that COVID is gone by Christmas. And so in order to make sure that next year's celebration can be like last year's, where we have everyone together, this year's has to be smart. This year's has to be celebrating at home with the people with whom you live and taking efforts to stay connected to your family in other ways. So regardless of when the 12 days, what we see, that remains the safest thing to do, is to celebrate Christmas apart and find different ways to be together in spirit and emotionally connected. That's important. I don't want anyone to think that I minimize that's hard to do. But it's absolutely essential this year that we do that. With regard to additional activities that could, I think, be engaged in 12 days, depending on what the numbers are. I know that Director Gordon articulated what those are. I think that we will have to look at this as incremental, simply the re-engagement like how we did in the spring. When we did it that way, we kept from having, I talked about it being more of a dial than a switch you turn on and off. That's how we kept our numbers from growing exponentially when we re-engaged. That's what we need to do now, again, as we contemplate doing more things that we're not doing right now. But I think it's important for people to know, we are seeing a lot of states and countries go into stay-home orders. We are not in one. We've pulled back on some things to try to get these numbers down, things that we know are inherently more risky. But we are not in a stay-home order. We still, by and large, can conduct a lot of our lives the way that we're used to doing it. We're just trying to be really targeted and temporary to get our arms around the spread of COVID, to keep people safe, and to support our businesses, to keep these numbers from growing so big that we have to take more steps back. So please, everyone, do your part. Make your plans. Know that this spring there is so much hope on the horizon. But let's hunker down for the next, weeks and months, get through this, and get through it together.